Nah, dude, talk about whatever. Like, and I'll send you the video so you can do your thing.
Yeah.
Oh well, I'll fix that. I'll open this for you.
Which one? The Supermans?
Yeah. I mean, they're probably just your average Supermans.
Oh, so come over here. Have you been using them?
No. I mean, I just got them in the mail yesterday.
Right.
I got some plans for them. I'm excited for doing this. Because this is like a you kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, like if I was to use something, like I might get a 50% like understanding of it.
Yeah.
Where like I feel like I can do a really bad job of explaining like the things that were said, why I bought it.
Yeah.
And you might get like an 80 or 50 or 90% like, oh, this hits the thing, does the thing.
More yield.
Exactly. Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
But supposedly like the holding it like in the open hand, like hit the actual forms like better, or for what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've been using this, and I've lived through physical therapy.
Yeah.
Like for the hand. Yeah. Yeah. I was like, why do I come here? I only come here for the massage. Like, but like when he showed it, like it was like, and he does grip competitions, and he said like this was actually for like wrist health and elbow and forearm health versus anything else.
Gotcha.
So there was like this pattern. There was this one's actually really weird. This pattern. There was. So you sure I'm saying like it's. Because then you can do the lever where you just adjust it. I just actually kept the weight and I had it lower through physical therapy and just slowly kept moving it.
Yeah.
This guy, but I noticed different fingers like take the lion's share of the tension.
Yeah.
And then what else is? Oh yeah, there's these ones. So it's like.
Yeah, the supinators.
Right.
Pronators, nice.
So here you go.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, let's actually try it because I've been having a little bit of issues
with your wrist
on this right wrist. Yeah, I had like a little boxer's fracture like a little while ago.
Oh, there was that one too. I forgot where you just like do exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, and then you could also change the distance, right? So the more distal it'll be away from the hands, the more you'll have to fight. Like the force profile changes, right? So like when you're closer here, it's not going to be as much force going through the hand, right? So
which is why I like it because it's what I mean. Like it's a really good size.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, for me it was within the scapula here. For your wrist specifically, where was it?
So what they do is there's this fascia that's like where my finger is.
Yeah.
That covers here. And all it does is like these are actually exposed.
Yeah.
And right here they're exposed except for this fascia.
Yeah.
I honestly now, Jeremy's theory is it's for load. Because I notice like load changes now. Like where the pressure is from load. Yeah. Like from the bar or whatever, like I can feel it. So I'm like, I wonder if that fascia is really just to keep, like when load comes in, it's like almost to keep it in alignment. Yeah. Complete theory, I don't know half as much as you do, or even a fraction. So, take it for what it's worth, but that's just for me having the surgery. Yeah. I notice load distributes differently now.
Through the hand.
Right. So anyways, so it's right here. But I had all these other issues. Yeah. So I completely understand that I could have done months or a year of like changing lifestyle and not training for a while or whatever. I really don't want to do that. Yeah. I'm really happy with the surgery. Yeah. Not. I wouldn't normally say that. I just did not want to sacrifice a year of not training time. Yeah. So I'm pretty happy. But I was having like neck issues. Yeah. I was having like armpit issues. Like the armpit would go numb. Mm-hmm. Like pecs. I would do chest, and it's probably from the load. Yeah. That would, what I mean? Like so many different issues. Yeah. I forgot. But you see, like I really like how it hits.
Yeah. No. It feels good. I like this one a lot. So yeah, something, I mean, you can even do with the bands, right? Like you can introduce like different like band feedbacks.
Right, here. Like that.
Yeah, so.
Here, I don't want to hurt your couch.
Roxy already hurts it enough.
You come home and she's like passed out. Like, I'm just looking for something.
So for example, like what you could do to get like your arm line like integrated with that. So if you put this thing on like a backpack, pretty much, right, and you think about trying to work around the arm line, what you can do.
Oh wow, you're really getting creative with it.
Yeah, so basically, so if I'm here, it's gonna pull me into E version. If I go around with the top side of the arm, around the trap of the shoulder, it will pull opposite way. So this will pull me, inward, and then the other will pull me outward. Just kind of exploring this one because I've done a bunch of different band feedbacks, but I haven't done the upper body yet. So let's see. So internal rotator. So say if we're trying to go for external rotation.
You take 2 steps backwards.
Yeah. So you're trying to go for external rotation because like usually what happens a lot, like us being dudes, like a lot of bench press, right? What happens is here we kind of get oculated and from the sternum down the arm line. So what tends to happen is we lose a lot of that receptivity down the fingers because that connective tissue literally comes from the inside of your sternum through your pec, through the bicep tendon, through all these wrist muscles and then down to the fingers. But you have different lines of them, right? Like you have the front of the arm line, which runs this way, deep back arm line. So what you can think about is if you set this up, point across. So this would go, I'm trying to think down, so over, underneath. So with the shoulder point here. But you get the back kind of here. Kind of hold tight. I think this is right now.
But I see what you're saying though. You just play with the band.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, you could set them up in different ways, right? But think an area like isolated. You want to think of like how it can like connect the band to like the other part of the shoulder. For example, like if I did this for like the leg, like I can set this band feedback around my opposite leg. So you see a lot of people do the bands.
Right.
Like this.
Well, the whole thing is. If I don't do it later tonight.
So this one, for example, like if you put it across the opposite leg, now you have an anchor point that's relative to another joint, not just like empty space moving and that.
Would you still do a band around the knees, or are you saying no, just that?
No, yeah, I'm saying no because, for example, like those, you'll see people walking them, and then like the one thing that they end up losing is their hip, right? Like you'll see the hip like sway back and forth, right? So like. It's like, okay, I do this, but my hips keep going side to side. So you're losing a whole lot of integrity from your upper body, right? So the theory goes into like, not the theory, the actual scientific application is that this model right here, any one joint that moves, so for example, say, let's say this is your pelvis right here, right? So this is taken on across, right? So if this is being pressed or moved upon, right? Say the pelvis, or
if that falls apart, I'm not putting it back together.
That
looks pretty complicated.
So say we're here, right? Like any connective tissue, right? As it changes or pulls, will change the placement of the joints, right? So say if like my pelvis, for example, is not like turning properly, or I lose a little bit of pressure here and I gain some on the other end, it's going to affect like every part of the whole unit as opposed to just like one area taking a lot of pressure, right? Or if I drop it, put it on the floor, like it's going to move around, it's going to bounce a little bit depending on how the structure's set up. But basically, like that's the way the body moves. Like there's no one area that moves independently of the others, right? So like when you're doing certain things with the bands and you're kind of like stepping side to side, but you're not being like attentive and like how, hey, like what's the spectrum of that? Like how is that supposed to move through its like full range essentially, right? What tends to happen is like we just get over calcification in some areas. So like for this, for example, like instead of doing just like a band activation for the glute, like you want to teach how the whole structure can kind of work with it. Alright, so for example, like if I were to like come here now, right, and I were to wrap this band. So say you have someone with like a heavy like internal rotation, right? Like you're trying to teach someone how to like, hey, fight against, maybe for example, like right now your knee has maybe either heavy valgus inward or varus outward, and that could be what's leading to a lot of pressures there in the ACL, right? You said it was, or your PCL?
What, this time?
Yeah.
I tore the MCL and the PCL.
MCL, okay, gotcha. So that was from something that was contact, right? Like you had a heavy load.
Our legs were entangled.
Exactly.
And someone sat down.
Yeah.
So there's like things pressing in different directions.
That they're not supposed to be.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which I don't think there's any way you could train against that.
Yeah.
Other than like that's a technical problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Not a mechanical.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But then looking back into like modalities on how to recover from that best, it's like, okay, what's the most efficient? Like, is it just really a matter of getting the hamstrings to get strong, but in what context does strong even mean, right? So it's like, okay, for my hamstrings to be able to lengthen, to be able to work in unison with stomach pressures, with the rest of my upper body. So for example, here, how I set the band feedback, it's gonna fight me into like an externally rotated leg and hip. So this would be for someone maybe who has like an excessive like duck feet, or someone who like walks like this, It's like, hey, why the hell is your leg like that? You probably is that normal to walk like that?
I see people doing it.
People do it all the time. But,
I see it, yeah.
But the reason why is because that's the third function of the glute. So you got a primary, secondary, and a tertiary function, right? So like when your glute isn't functioning through the maximus or through the minimus, or giving you proper extension or proper adduction, or bringing the knees into adduction. For example, like if I'm like lock-legged here, like my glutes want to bring the knees out. So you got people on this end of the spectrum or people out here. But these people, they just lost their primary and their secondary function of the glute, right? So they're probably just like overly taut in the middle areas, and then their medius is doing a lot of the work, and that's the wide little fan part of the butt right here. It's probably pulling them out, so they're looking like funky, but no one ever questioned that. So what you can do is you pull that either, and it's like a fuller dysfunction to bring about like a sense of awareness to it. It's like, okay, what muscles do I have to use to fight that back in? Okay, I can use my adductors or my internal rotators, or conversely on the other side, right? If you have that go off, so you could do outward, or you can do here. No, that's just not hard.
You pull it inward.
Forward, right? Over. Yeah, so you go kind of like over the junk, not on the junk. So then you can go run around here, for example, right? So now have this guy working.
I feel like in all our times, Marty, we've never talked about this.
Really?
Right.
Yeah, this is.
Is this new? Is this
Yeah.
Okay.
This is newer. Oh. Okay.
So next time we train work up, I guess one thing I'm understanding is like, no, like that snaps, like.
yeah, absolutely. That's gonna sound. It's gonna hit your edge. So yeah. So if you're trying to fight out against it, externally rotate. That's gonna help you turn on these more outer muscles that you may not have already, right? So again, like certain feedbacks you can integrate to different anchor point of the body.
Right.
That's a little bit more distal to kind of work those same pathways, like through the hamstring underneath.
Right.
The glute.
Right beside the piriformis.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. Exactly. So you're trying to teach us how to work like across the body and integration. So there's different band techniques that you can mess around, and like the whole idea behind it is to kind of pull the body into like further dysfunction, right? So say if like
further dysfunction.
Yeah. So it's like you're aware of it. You know what I mean? So here's the thing: like your body has like an equilibrium, right? So it's like right now, like I can be like this, like standing like this, and I'm like, oh, this is normal. But you're looking at me, you're like, that's not normal. Like, Marty, what are you doing? Like you're pulling your stomach out, right? Or you see someone who's like the
butt's out.
Yeah.
Like they're at the pelvic tilt.
Yeah, exactly, like an anterior pelvic tilt.
Right.
So like people, when you tell them to get out of that position and you cue them, they're like, that feels weird. Like, that's not my normal, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's not in my equilibrium. So the whole thing is like you want to bring an attentiveness to an exaggeratedness, and then once you bring them like a millimeter off of what's normal for them, you're like, that's not normal. Let me get back into what's normal for me. It's like, oh, okay, now I can work. Those muscles are a thing. To counteract it, it's like, okay, now I understand what it is.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like the other one I like is like, here. And that all these are from functional patterns. I didn't come up with these by any means, but this is a very effective way. So like you'll see the things like the posture pod or whatever, you know, like the little things, but it's like again those aren't gonna have any like tie into like our supercomputer in our head, right?
Right.
Like little external things. So this one can pull us like across the front of the body, or like a backpack. So you feels a little funky at first, but then like what you realize is like, ooh, like
right,
super forward.
So you have to pull it back.
Exactly, yeah. So it's like now if I want to open up, so the whole thing is you got to be able to find like what a real neutral position is first, right? So now it's like, okay, once I'm here, I can open up, create tensions throughout the rest of my body, my stomach, whatever it may be. Open up nice and tall, and again, I'm not in a position where I'm like overly rounded, right? It's like I'm in a nice centered position. My shoulders are working. How long can I hold this? Like I was telling you, the tonic system, like how long we could actually hold muscles for. I should ideally be able to hold this for
ever.
Yeah, exactly. Ideally,
it's a static position.
Ideally, yeah.
With slight resistance.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, so many people aren't used to it that they'll tire out after 2-3 minutes.
I'm tired. I'm looking at that. I'm like, wait. Yeah. I'm empathetically, I'm wanting to like start curling for you.
Like, you want to cut it off for me. Yeah, but you know, just sitting here and like instead of getting in a little pod, or you set up another like band like around the legs, you know, like the hamstrings fired on and stuff like that.
Okay, so this is like so the whole reason I bought these was I saw that new view where they put it around the. Remember I told you that I was going like I'm gonna like try to figure this out.
Yeah.
They put it around the quads, right? So like a figure 8. Yeah. And then around the front, and then start doing a bear cross.
Yeah, yeah.
To like hold it, right? And to get like to activate hamstring while activating shoulders. Yeah. To activate all the things.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, like I need hamstring strength.
Yeah.
And this is like $30 on Amazon. I feel like that's a very what do you a good investment. I mean, as long as you use it. I mean, I have more maces in my house than you do. Yeah. Probably a problem. Yeah. Right? Like, but you probably use yours way more than I do.
Yeah.
I try to remember, I just forget.
Yeah. Yeah, again, it's just to be like utility, like how much you're gonna use it, like what's your know-how of it, you know? So these bands, I mean, yeah, that's a good one that they posted the other day too, and that kind of goes into what I was just telling you, you know, like we realize like if the glutes aren't turned on, right, and that part of the structure's not working efficiently to bring the knees in a good position, that's going to affect the way even my shoulder works, right? So like you want your glutes to like hold your base, right? If you think of like I like this analogy of like a tree, right, being rooted into the ground. Essentially, if we lose our tension with the floor, we don't have roots. And then another way to conversely think about that is like if you look at the image of like a tree versus our lungs, this one I found very interesting, right? So like a tree is going to be rooted down into the ground, right?
Our lungs
are an upside down tree, right? So our bronchioles are like the branches going up and out, right? So upside down tree, but then, you know, our real roots, these tree trunks, you know, have to be grounded in order for that to expand up and outward, right? For the little bronchial branches to reach out. So again, it's like it goes down to like pelvic floor, right? How is my pelvis holding myself in the right position with the floor? Do I have adequate tensions between inside, outside? You know, how is my pelvis positioned? You know, do I know what a real center point is, not one that has been imposed through all my stimulus, through my injuries, through even something very, very interesting, right? Next time that, okay, so it might be harder for you to notice unless you're video recording this, but I noticed this today. All right, I'm speaking with a client of mine. The kid is like 14 years old, and then his father, for example, right? So noticing, I'm sure you noticed this plenty of times, but how kids' mannerisms go after the parents, either the mother or the father, very much so, right? So I'm seeing the father stand one way, and I was like, okay, maybe that's not an ideal posture, right? To be holding. But then I see the kid do the same thing. I was like, you got it. Dang, I didn't think he was going to pick it up. And then I'm sitting here in the middle trying to be like, all right, is anyone to stand like me now? Right. You know what I mean? But it's like little things like that, like that we don't realize until we're adults. you know, as you're a kid, you're like, okay, let me model after like who's there the most, right? And then, you know, those are things that carry on.
We talked about that, like this continual like de-evolution.
Yeah.
I think this is like a great example of like how that happens.
Yeah.
So like, let's say that your dad has terrible posture and your grandfather has terrible posture.
Yeah.
And your posture only starts like getting worse, and then your kids come out and they look like a corkscrew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like they're looking at you and you're all like this, and like, well,
yeah.
I'm supposed to stand like that.
Yeah.
You know, like
exactly. Yeah.
I know my kids pick every bad habit I have.
Yeah.
It's like they don't get any of the good ones. They only get the bad ones,
yeah.
right? Like it's like they're a bad habit magnet.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like that kind of plays into what you said, you know, like so one thing is like everyone kind of has to like reset and get awareness.
Yeah.
Like reset, get awareness, reset, get awareness.
Yeah.
Because like you might trip and break something, and like maybe the first progenitor of that problem actually had like an injury.
Yeah.
You know, and then he had kids.
Yeah.
And so he stood like that because, like, oh, one leg's shorter than the other.
Yeah. And it was never addressed properly, or
right,
there's no means to know.
Or what's that called? Just move like their foot is like just literally like one it's shorter than the other, and they have to break the femur and then lengthen it.
Yeah.
Like so, I mean, there could be like a real reason.
Yeah.
But it just kept evolving as a dog. Give me one legs.
She's trying to do jujitsu.
She is. I think she fell asleep earlier. Like right here, I saw the eye closed. So that's like a good point to kind of tie that. Like, it's not necessarily always like with outside the means to correct.
Yeah.
Like you're saying with your brother, like what happened to his like his SI joint?
Yeah, he had spondylosis, so that's like a slippage of like the lumbar.
Right.
So basically, it's like an over posterior tilt, because think about it, he was in a position, he was in a car crash, right? So he had his feet up on the dashboard and like a Jenna, right? Thank God for German engineering, it could have been worse, right? But his feet were up, and then he got hit by a F450 coming behind him, and then all that slippage, all that pressure, like whatever it was, like 50,000 pounds of force, whatever, slipped, you know, and then put him into that less than ideal position. So I mean,
less than ideal. So watered down. Not the preferred posture, you know,
to be sitting in a car crash at all.
Right.
But, you know, so from there, they had to screw his SI joint into place. But the thing is with that, the SI joint's the smallest joint, one of the smallest joints in the body, but it's most responsible for one of the most important functions, which is like the decoupling of the hips, right? So our pelvis, you know, is made to move, have a little bit of space each way. And if the SI joint loses even like a degree of freedom of motion, that's going to lessen the amount of force that can go through the pelvis into the upper body, right? So essentially like our association from lower half to top half. And the pelvic position is going to affect your core, your breathing, you know, and that all determines your stress response, right? So it's like the whole thing with posture, you know, for the longest time it's been like, it doesn't really matter about your posture as long as like you can move in a position well or like get into or out of position. But the thing is now understanding, you know, we've gone to chiropractors for years, right? So the spine's always been, okay, let me get it adjusted. Like if I'm overly much in one position or this facet joint doesn't move too well, let me give it some information to like waken it up again, right? So now what's being found is that our posture and the amount of time that we spend outside of a spectrum of like an ideal position will lessen and inhibit our stress response, right? So then we're not as adaptive to, you know, to stimulus of the environment, to like our startle reflex, right? So how people like literally respond like through their emotional anatomy, how that fascia is a communicative system. So it actually holds within like all our traumas, all our past injuries, abuse, whether that be verbal, physical, you know, mental, because again, someone has esteem issues or self-confidence, you know, all these things show in postures, but people don't really realize it or take it at, they only take it as like a face value, like, oh, I just want to look upright, you know what I mean? But like there's a deeper meaning behind all of it, and it actually goes down to your bone, right? So like the fascia literally goes down and it encapsulates everything, right? It encapsulates all our nerve endings, our brain, all the muscles, joints, to what ligaments are made out of,
Right.
the deep organs.
So there's two things. One is it reminds me, like, in wrestling they tell you, like, when you're tired, hold your head up.
Yeah.
One's a psychological, like, warfare.
Yeah.
Like, when you're feeling tired, I'm gonna be like,
be ready.
hey dude,
Yeah.
I got more, buddy.
Yeah.
The other though is if you're feeling down, like you slowly start to like go into the fetal position.
Yeah.
If you just like come back up, it's almost like it wakens you up. You start to like, hey, man, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
There's a great book about reading microfacial responses and how like the inner workings are displayed, like these microfacial reactions.
Yeah.
And posture, and it was a person that bases on like how to read people and things like that.
I believe in that 100%. Yeah.
The other is like, it's really hard to fit in the day with like training goals, uneffing like fascia problems. I mean, I felt like my glutes were like perfect, like silky smooth. Man, I hit legs Friday, and there's like hot zones everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, I thought we had agreed. Like,
Yeah.
I roll you out every day.
Yeah.
No hot zones. Like, if I sit on your floor right now, like, oh, like I can feel them.
Yeah, just being on like a hard surface.
Right. Like for you, I understand. Like it. For one, you have like a high level of information or knowledge around it.
Yeah.
But two, like, people go to training for like training goals or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, so how do they even fit that in? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, what's the Joe Schmuckatelli, the average Joe? How does he even fit that in, like, with training goals? And he's getting new injuries, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's go back to jiu-jitsu. Like, he's like, something's wrong.
Yeah.
And then he goes to practice tonight, and now he's got something more wrong.
Yeah.
So how do you keep up with that?
Absolutely. So I think the biggest thing is, again, like we talked about, like the concepts of like balance. So it's kind of assessing where you're currently at, right? So say if, for example, you keep running into like a similar issue, right? So it's like, okay, trying to understand where your volume's at. Think first, before anything, at the most basic level, how much you're putting out versus how much you're putting into the body, right? So, for example, like you're putting a whole lot of energy, you're training X amount of hours, which could be 20 hours a week, maybe, right? 15 to 20 hours. But how putting back into the body, right? And that can consist of, again, like myofascial release, again, how you're trying to bring back proper length, tension relationships to the body, the nourishment, the quality of the water you're drinking, how much rest are you actually getting, like you'll hear some people, oh, I'm an athlete, but I'm getting 5 or 6 hours of sleep, like how we talked about that. So again, it's kind of like seeing energy out versus energy in. That's like my first thought process. And then number 2 is going to be sort of what we just talked about, like in posture. One of the biggest things that I'm addressing now with like a lot of athletes and trying to create more an awareness of with people I work with is around their biomechanics, right? And it's, again, like we have this like predisposed notion of what we think is ideal or the position that we're in, and that's like our normalcy, you know what I mean? So it's, again, like, okay, how can I shed what I thought was, normal and be told in a straightforward manner without having any like cognitive dissonance, right? Like, hey, this person isn't right. Like, it's sometimes uncomfortable to get out of those positions, you know what I mean? Like, out of these normal things or like what we have been told to be right and like challenge the beliefs and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, if you want to check out your biomechanics, we've all got tons of fucked up stuff from our body, right? But the thing is, okay, now can I accept that? Can I own that in? And can that be a part of like my progression moving forward and trying to understand, hey, how can I get to better positions? How can I be more mechanically sound? Do I understand that my posture is literally every other trauma that I've been through, and can I be reflective upon those, moving forward, and trying to understand that, hey, this is a working process, but it's not going to get fixed by, just going out and lifting tons of weight. It's like the mindfulness approach, you know what I mean? It's like everyone's like, oh, mindfulness, this, and meditation, and like yoga or whatever, but it also takes a certain level of awareness and how to utilize the entire body as a whole unit, right? How to create certain pressures, how to turn areas on and off, and again, use like deeper systems that use a whole lot of freaking brain power. You know what I mean? Sometimes more than the average person's willing to utilize. You know, but I mean, I could put you through one of them if you wanna try it after this.
No, I remember. Do you remember that one time that I forget what we were doing, like that machine and like twisting, like a punch. I'm like, that's not how you throw a punch, Marty.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's how you get the proper mechanics. Like we were arguing about you talking the cognitive. It's like, it's still not how you throw a punch.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
But I get what you're saying. Like that was work for like. Because throwing a punch is kind of like sacrificing like your own body to damage someone else's like more.
Yeah.
Because it like when you tell me throw a punch or a kick, it's like grappling's so good.
Yeah.
Like because you don't have to damage yourself.
Yeah.
But you throw a punch, like you're risking like you might win or you might do the damage, but you're also trading damage for damage.
Yeah.
So I get like hey, well the shoulder actually moves like this.
Yeah.
Versus like hey, well this is how you sacrifice this hand as much as possible to generate as much force as possible.
Yeah.
It's not ideal because the hand is now damaged at the same time.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying. Because I know we've had these conversations about certain things.
Mm-hmm.
But like a lot of the trainings change like things I do. You know what I mean? So definitely something to what you're saying versus like it's just new. Because a lot of new things just aren't good. Like you talked about like all the booty workouts.
Yeah.
And I never would have thought, oh, well, you're actually causing like this mismatch communication.
Yeah.
Never. I mean, that was like would have never in my life if I had meditated on it.
Yeah.
Never would have thought about like a mismatch due to.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's resistance. It's bands. Like, come on, that's like.
Yeah. Trying to get things talking to each other as opposed to being on like the game of like telephone. It's like how many times is that message going to change going down the line because we're talking through a string and there's 6 people on it, you know what I mean? So it's like again, like if my foot's doing something else, then my knees like let's go to this party over here and my butt's like, hey, I'm in honky tonk town down here like dancing. Different signals are going to be sent up the chain. And by the time it gets to the shoulder, it's like, whoa, why can't I perform?
Right, and it probably was underpowered. Like I know with throwing punches, like it starts in the feet. Everything starts in the feet.
Yeah.
But if all of that's off, like, did you really need to do all those deadlifts or technique?
Yeah.
We talked about like the shortest path to the most efficient.
Yeah.
Look at Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Probably like world, greatest martial artist.
Yeah.
Not a huge dude.
Yeah.
Was not a CrossFitter.
But he could
generate force, right?
Yeah.
And then, just like injuries keep happening, right? Like in a lot of sports, it's just common.
Yeah.
But that makes a lot of sense about like the communication systems are broken down.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast from Kenny Cornelius and Josh Inger. I know you don't know them. Mm-hmm. They're like some really high level jiu-jitsu guys.
Gotcha.
And Keenan's like a researcher kind of like you in the jiu-jitsu world.
Yeah.
And he was talking about something he had read where injuries come, like if you want to look like who's more likely to be injured, it was related to whose equilibrium was worse. So the person with the worst equilibrium had a higher injury rate.
Yeah.
And he said like the theory was that you're unable to get yourself out of bad situations or bad positions that are likely to get injured.
Yeah.
Which going with our fascia conversation that I've been following with fascia and like reading all about it.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Like the fascia is saying, hey, like wrong direction.
Yeah.
And so if that signaling's good, you're able to get out of there. Injury prevention, right? Versus like you never got the message and you ran into Lighthouse.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So wow, there's probably like a lot more like there. You know what I mean? Like with jiu-jitsu, that's like my first thoughts. Is like, oh, like that makes a lot of sense.
You hit the nail on the head with that though. Yeah, that's huge.
Maybe not just equilibrium.
Yeah.
But yeah. Like, because I've been thinking about that a lot lately.
Yeah.
Like, man, I keep getting injured, but I got good balance. Like that's why it's bothering me.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And again, like so much of that even plays down to like a big part of it too. Like think about like jiu-jitsu or fighting as like a reactive sport. You know what I mean?
Right.
So think about these continuities of information, like say like your superficial backline, right? This is something that starts from the phalanges of the toes, wraps underneath the heel, all the way through the calf, through the hamstring, underneath the glute, through your erectors, your lats. There it goes up the neck, and then it finishes at your brow, right?
Wow.
So we have all this fascia on the back of the head,
right?
And these muscles called the suboccipitals.
Like right here where I'm hitting.
Yeah, where the dog just submits.
Yeah, I know.
And like, if you massage behind the ears for a dog or a human, like some crazy releases happen, like you get a leg twitch.
Right.
But yeah, man. So we have all these muscles on the back of the head that you ever see like an older dude, like an older bald dude, maybe like damn, like this guy's got a lot of flaps on the back of his head. You know what I mean?
Right, you mean like the fat right here?
Yeah, like
the back fat.
So yeah, exactly. That's his superficial back line getting dehydrated, right? So
dehydrated is flabby.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean, so think about before I continue on that. So crimp is a fascial property. Okay. So your crimp, if you look at like say like grandma in the hospital, or like we're over there and we're like, all right, like her skin's really dry, like you lift it upward, and then it takes a long time to go back downward.
Yeah, it's a test for dehydration.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, now it makes sense. I was thinking fat versus like just skin. I got you.
Yeah, well, that's dehydration as well, because now it's lost its crimp, and it's just plastered together. It's not able to disperse and be elastic.
Right.
So the crimp's like the elasticity of it, right?
Okay.
So like these muscles on the back of the head, right? If you put your fingers, like 4 fingers on the back of your head here, and you actually move your eyes up and down.
Oh yeah.
Or side to side, you're gonna feel those muscles.
Right. When I get a headache, I massage these.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. So all the suboccipitals on the back of the head, people don't realize like there's many different types of headaches for that.
Right.
But a big reason, like attention headaches, probably most prevalent. Like I'd say, like 75% of people. Yeah, squinting the face, being forward, not drinking enough water, all this stuff. Culminates within like the sides here, like the temporalis or like the subocciput, but could be manipulated very well if someone had like a practice of trying to like loosen up these fascias in the back of the head.
Right.
But where that goes into like the reactivity of like eye training as well. So think like you're dehydrated through your back line, right? And you're also not training different stimuluses like for the eyes as much, or like you're very used to like one specifically, and you're not training the periphery, right? You're not training like your head moving around your eyes and your eyes moving within the head, right? So that would be different. Like say if I'm like here and I'm tracking you, for example. So say if I'm staying here, I fix myself to one point and I'm looking, but my head is moving around that. So that would be my eyes staying in my head and my head moving eyes, right? So my eyes are staying in the same spot. Or if I look at that same spot, and then my chin goes down, my chin goes up. Or if I choose to do that standing on one leg, so now my equilibrium is different. So I do the same thing, but now I'm doing circles.
That's an actual training drill?
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. And then you'll actually feel the difference when you're trying to hold your balance, right? When you translate that to like one leg. But those are all little things, like, again, take it for like the surface function, and hey, how can I get to the other end of that function, or the other spectrum of it,
Probably need to slide over just a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just... Alright, Roxy, can you go check? We should have brought the other Roxy.
Double Rox. How does it feel calling my dog Roxy?
I know, no.
It's strange you said, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
there's a joke there that we're gonna skip. Right? We're gonna skip that joke? Right?
Say nope.
Nah.
Hey, fall off the couch.
No, I mean that makes so much sense. Like, in wrestling too, or wrestling jiu-jitsu, there's like a thing that I think I got it from wrestling. I'm sure you can get it from anything. I got like body sense. Very hard thing to train. Like wrestling drills help you train it, and I mean, I'm going to have to revisit that theory now because so what body sense is like. Let's say we're going at or wrestling. There's a point in time where like for me personally, I'll close my eyes. Like if the pace is getting too fast, because like the visual processing is too long. It's a lot of computation, and if we're just moving, like we're going at it, like in a scramble. Like I'll just close my eyes and let the body kind of feel where your weight's going, how to counter. You know what I mean? It's the moves that you drilled, but without the visual part of it.
Yeah.
because I can't keep up if I look, like, you know what I mean? Like, I get sluggish.
Yeah.
Like, it's like we're moving at a pace where I'm going to slow down.
Yeah, there's a lot more computations to be made.
Right, versus, like, you know, it's like shorthand. Like, oh, I felt that. No. I know, because I know where you're at. Like, I got a mental model.
Yeah. And
I know, like, if this weight disappears, like, it has to go in this direction. Okay. I don't need to watch your hand disappear.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to revisit some of these theories. I mean, it's like you get 3 pieces to a puzzle, then you got 7 pieces to a puzzle. Yeah. And it's like a 1,000-piece puzzle. Yeah. Like, trying to make this image.
You're trying to do it in 5 minutes.
Right, yeah. Because that's how much we live for, about 5 minutes, you know, of the human history. We're about, you know, like a second.
Yeah, sliver.
But
so true.
Dang, that's a lot. That's dense, man. That's like organ meat. That's like organ meats to the nose.
The heart or the feet?
You don't like the feet? It's all in there now.
I'll do all of it, but if you had to eat one raw, what would you do?
Heart.
Heart?
That's what the lion eats, the wolf, you know?
You're right.
Like, I'm very for that, right? You kidding? I tried chicken feet and it just tasted like dirt. Probably psychologically tasted like dirt.
Yeah.
Or I just don't cook it well.
Yeah.
But the pig feet, man.
Yeah.
The pig, like, it was a little weird seeing a big toe next to a pinky toe.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I really feel like
you got three toes. Where'd the other 2 go?
No, like it's really good. It tastes like a bacon stew. Like, I almost cut up bacon and put it in there.
Yeah.
Like the guy I was telling you about, he has a meat grinder, which is now on my to-do list. Yeah. And he like grinds up these organ meat burgers. He likes grilling. I like stewing. He likes grilling. Yeah. But he sometimes like, let's stuff some bacon in there. Yeah. And I'm like, you're just a genius. Like, when you're cutting up bacon to like go into the hamburger, and it's like grill. I mean, he's got the grinder thing, so it's like in there. It's it. Like, you put the bacon in the burger.
It's a game changer.
It's like I gotta get on that level.
Yeah.
I gotta get on that level.
Funny enough, I told you my brother got me into feeding my dog the raw feed.
Right.
So that's what he was doing initially. He had the big grinder and he was throwing everything, bone in. Like, you can literally get it all and make it in the ground chuck. Yeah. I guess essentially that's what sausage is. Sausage.
Is that white bits? I thought it's the gristle or the ligaments and stuff.
Yeah, you got ligaments. Sometimes I think you do get some sausage and bone in it.
Yeah, you do.
That little piece, you know. Yeah. Like, how'd that get in there?
So there's this girl on Instagram who is eating a lot of raw tartar. Mm-hmm. Or I think that's like saying like white. Like, it's like I think tartar is oral. I don't know.
Yeah.
But she was like switching vegan. Mm-hmm. To like to keto, the paleo to keto, to like carnivore to raw.
Wow.
And I'm like, I kind of want to get there, but at the same time, I'm like, organ stew right now, maybe it's gonna get me there.
Yeah.
Because like now I'm like eating things, and I was like you know, like oh, that's a kidney.
Yeah.
Like
got a kidney stuck in the tube.
Oh yeah, like liver. They didn't have no liver. Now I just buy them. Like when I see hearts or I see liver or kidneys, I just like buy them. Like, tongue? Like, come on, guys. Like, I need this.
Give me more. Yeah. It's super nutrient dense, though.
Right. And what's the word? What's the word of the day is bioavailable? Yeah. Is that the word?
Yeah.
Okay. The new word I'm learning from all this is like, it's higher in bioavailability. Yeah. And so you don't need the fiber. Yeah. Because like you don't need stuff to like push out in the poop. I rarely poop. Yeah. That's odd. Mm-hmm. But I also don't eat that much, and I eat like a high bioavailable. Yeah. So like, there's not a lot of waste.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then something too that's interesting is you know, like what you're saying about the fiber. So you have cows and the animals that we consume. So many of them, their stomach profiles are so much more different than ours, right? So when you look at which part of it. It's their, I believe it's called their,
It's how many, like,
starts with
things.
a C, yeah. Their Sicinium, I believe it's called, has more length to it, and they also have 4 stomachs, right? So the amount of grass they can ingest and transform into these available nutrients is a lot higher than ours, because since we have smaller stomachs, shorter Siciniums, you know, a lot of the fiber, like, it's not necessarily like vegetables and grains are good to an extent, but there's also like the counter argument where, you know, if our stomachs aren't made to digest as much as it can, like, why is it now that I'm having so much fiber intake that it's actually harder to poop, or because of getting too many like anti-nutrients and like phytic acid and things from like foods that you never realize really are inhibiting our digestion to a sense that we wouldn't otherwise know until we did like an elimination diet or something where it's like very basic, and then you start to introduce like little things afterwards, you know, where I have done that, and then I start to realize like, oh, so maybe some of these foods like my body isn't reacting to as well, you know. So again, like I just got off Carnivore for like 5 days. Had a really good meal the other day, by the way. My friend Dan, he's a personal chef on IG. He's the Dinner with Dan. If you look him up,
that sounds familiar.
He's a grill master.
Maybe something you said, Dinner with Dan, though, sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Did you jiu-jitsu?
Maybe. He's a big dude.
Because Dinner with Dan?
Yeah.
Like...
The Dinner with Dan.
Right. Yeah. Is he white, bald?
He's white, long hair.
No, okay, so not bald.
But yeah.
Right, not the Dan I was thinking.
He's got locks.
Right.
But yeah, he chefed up a meal for us after we worked out the other day. But yeah, he cooked some thymus, so cow throat.
Okay, that's a hormone gland, right?
Fatty, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fatty piece.
I know, I'm getting excited here, actually.
Yeah, she hears thymus and she's like, oh, smell that goodness.
Thymus.
So thymus, and then we did blood sausage, which is literally like,
oh yeah, I know,
pig blood. Have you had it?
Yeah.
It's good. Love it. So he cooked it really well. Did it in indirect heat, and the thymus, a lot of pink Himalayan salt. Every time you flip it, lime, drench it in lime, and then you grilled it to like perfection, like crispy on the outside till the skin starts to crunch. Really good. So we did that, and then 2 like aged Berkshire pork ribeyes. But anyways, so I was doing the.
We just ate. I'm so hungry now.
Yeah, I know.
And if I ate one more bite, I would puke. I'm so full. It was good, by the way. So good.
Thanks. Yeah. So.
Ladies single, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Single, but you'll have to take it up with Roxy.
Right. Oh, I think we'd be pretty protective.
Yeah, she is, for sure. She's very judgmental. But, yeah, so I went through my 5 days of that, and then yesterday I reintroduced, I still did a pretty meaty base dinner. I think I added that sweet potato that we did tonight.
Right.
After like 5 days, and then onions. But I realized the amount of onions that I normally consume in comparison to going like the 5 days like Carnivore. I was like last night, I ate at like 9 o'clock, went to bed at like 11, so I had like a good 2 hours for digestion. But I was like, those onions didn't sit as well as I thought they did, so maybe it could be worth revisiting, you know, like the amount that I'm actually taking in.
Or it could be like your microbiome in your stomach just altered.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I know a lot of that with Carnivore. They say to eat fermented cabbage, kimchi.
Yeah.
Because that way your ability to absorb the nutrients. Yeah. I could be getting this wrong, by the way. Like anything I say, just don't trust. Do your own research. I'm like a YouTube doctor. Here's how you get the kidney out. But like you lose like your ability to absorb like to your best. Because like you don't have those good bacteria, they start starving, I guess. Without the fermented cabbage or something along those lines.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So maybe your onions, you just lost the ability or
to break those down as well. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's something like slowly introducing things back into it and not being like overly zealous with it. Like don't introduce it all at once. You know, like.
Well, you wouldn't know.
First date, right? Do you let everything out, or do you show little hints of it, right?
Yeah, and I lie. Yeah. That's my first date rule.
What is it?
Lie is good. So don't take my dating advice.
So lie about your portion amounts and how much onions you should actually be feeding yourself.
That's why I hashtag vegan on that stew.
Yeah. Or do they say that?
Like, that was the funniest thing. I was in that wolf mask. Laughing, and I'm like, I'm gonna tag vegan. Like it was like,
honestly, it's seeing how much that meat eaters get trolled for eating meat by vegans. It's fun to like conversely be on the other side too and be like,
yes,
hey, yeah, no, I'm gonna eat meat. And then
no, I'm actually gonna only eat meat. Like I'm gonna take your share.
Yeah.
And like you take my vegetables.
Yeah.
And we can be friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Find the happy medium, right? Yeah, it's funny. I was looking at something. What was it, yesterday too? I reposted, and the guy described the cow as the transformer, basically like saying what I just told you, like with the four stomachs, like the longer prosceniums, and like how they transform the food into like available energy and like nutrients for us to take in. And then I put at the very bottom, I was like, vegans, a Decepticon? Like, question based. Like, the cow's a good transformer.
Right.
Opposite end.
Yeah, and then the funny, like, I don't know everyone these funny, like meme jokes now, but there's this picture of a lion, obviously photoshopped, but a lion, like, outside this guy's tent, and it was this guy praying, like, Lord, please let this lion be a Christian, and then the next part of the meme was the lion saying, Lord, thank you for this delicious dinner. Like, like that, I don't know why. It was just like the funniest thing I feel like I'd seen in a long time. Like,
That's good. That's good.
Oh man, that was so good.
There's a lot of good ones. There was another one I saw. I think it was yesterday too. Yeah, yesterday or Sunday, right? It was like it was like a person saying to God, like it's like God, like something about almond milk. How did it go exactly? It was like a troll on almond milk. It was like, why aren't these people drinking the milk from the cows or these other animals? He's like, God's like, I put 8 animals down there and they don't like one of them, and then it's like in that like lowercase capitalized, you know, like the the like trolling.
The almond was a
yeah. It's like, oh, we don't like that type of milk, like all upside down.
Right.
It was funny. I didn't explain that too well, but it
was terrible.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's a funny jujitsu like one with a monkey that looks like a badass.
Yeah.
And it's like train like you're the third monkey on the bridge to the arc, and bitch is starting to rain. It's like this tough monkey, like.
That's funny.
Oh man, I'm gonna check this real fast. My phone's probably dead. But no. I love those things. Like, if you can't laugh with stuff, you know, dude, it's great. It's also 55 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Nice.
But you know, like a lot of people are like, they get so uptight, and me and my wife are like talking about this today. Like, we get so bent out of shape over something that's really stupid.
Yeah.
Or like we take it really serious.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, let's say I don't like your glasses, which I do. I think you're missing a mustache, but that's about it.
Relax.
And so I get like, no, those are stupid. And it's like, we talked about this earlier with the training. Yeah. Like I start blocking anything and everything you're gonna say. Don't even hear it. Don't listen to it. Don't like really care.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna reinforce like my rhetoric until like you either submit or like we go to blows or like I decide it's time to go watch Jerry Springer or like whatever's on late night TV. Yeah. Like you know what I mean? Like you hit like a wall.
Yeah.
Where what I'm trying to do is, for some reason, my mouth's able to speak faster than my brain. Yeah. Like, I don't know how those systems work, Marty. What fashion we get a massage? But there's like it'll like say some really stupid mean stuff or just really stupid stuff. Yeah. And then this other guy in my brain is like, whoa, I wasn't done yet. Like, not the signal I wanted you to say. It's not like, oh, hey, I'm sorry. Like, this other guy, and like, don't listen to him. Yeah. And like, oh, wow, this guy's crazy. Yeah. But it's almost the same with like veganism and carnivore, which are both where you say the extremes, and then you've got like all of the unhealthy people in the middle. Yeah. You're either healthy with veganism or healthy with carnivore. Yeah. But which, by the way, you know, it's biblical to like be like a meat eater or vegan. Like, it actually has a section in there in Corinthians, I believe,
on both ends,
where it says like, don't make fun of people that don't eat meat because they're extra sensitive. Yeah. And I mean, you can leave that up to like sensitive stomachs, sensitive morality. Yeah. I think it goes more in depth than what I'm doing, so I'm not a preacher.
Yeah, of course.
Anything I say is a lie. Do your own research. Anytime we talk, you just keep that mantra.
I'm looking up Corinthians tonight.
For that. I'll send it to you. Yeah. But anyways, like, yeah, it's a talk about. So anyone like that goes on either ends, like, you know, I think it makes sense. Like, some people are going to be okay with it and some people aren't. Yeah. You know, we have a friend that we love who raises her kids vegan. Mm. Like, I don't know their bellies. Like, the kids are healthy. Yeah. Like, and we raise, like our daughter is playing with them, like, with chicken in her mouth, right? Like, you know, people take things too serious. Yeah. Like, if you have a problem with it, okay. Yeah. You know, that could be, like, a digestive issue, that could be a morality issue. Yeah. I think people just really need to chill out. Yeah, absolutely. Like, as we're talking about like training modalities, I think modality just means like protocol. I don't know, you use that word a lot. Yeah. And I'm really like, I thought I knew what modality meant, but you used it in so many flavorful ways. Yeah. I'm now not really confident. But yeah, like I mean, you've changed a lot of my training. Mm-hmm. Or an influence, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like some of the things I'm like, but if you think about it, like it's not like far fetched. Yeah. It's not like, well, no, you don't have to do that. There's like a counter argument. Yeah. Probably there's a reason why traditional ways work to an extent. Yeah. But then let's take like traditional injuries. Let's take traditional, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like
always trying to refine it and improve upon things that we were doing.
Why wouldn't you want to be injury less? If I was like, hey, Marty, come play my sport. Yeah. However, you're gonna break something CL. Yeah. Like something CL, like you have to. Yeah. Like instantly, you should probably be like, I don't know if I trust your training modality. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah. Gotta try to learn. Gotta always evolving.
That's it.
So I personally have a problem with, for one, not doing a fitness assessment. Mm. Like we were talking about earlier. Like if you come train with me, like 100%, like I don't know if it's either an assumption or it's just not mentioned or it's overlooked or you know what I mean. Like, but I should be like, all right, Marty. Like, and I mean, like, I know you. Yeah. I know you know how to move your body. I know you know how to, like, you know way more about that than I do. Mm-hmm. And, like, you live it, you do it. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't mean that techniques I can do that you can do. Yeah. Like, I could have just trained this other things. Like, I can do this one where, you know, I pull my hip, my foot comes out and over, goes under your chin. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I can only do it on one side, which probably means those hips. Yeah. I think I can do it to one side because the other side can't do it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, absolutely. Probably not good, by the way.
Yeah. That's funny that you brought that up. So, I was having this conversation. I think it was yesterday or Saturday.
You're drinking the water. Sorry.
I am not.
You're not, bro.
I know. I was looking for it. I did a double take when it's over there. I'm gonna grab it real quick.
Okay. I'm concerned about your hydration levels.
Thank you. Yeah, that's why I have this Trucy machine. Would you like to try some hydrogen water?
Some what water?
Hydrogen infused water.
Sure. Is that different than alkaline?
Yeah, this it structures the water basically. Okay. So alkaline will change the pH, but this is going to change the amount of hydrogen molecules within the water. So
I honestly didn't know you could do that. I'm not the chemistry guy. I don't think so.
Yeah, this machine does it. It puts like UV light into it, and then if you look at it, like you see the little bubbles. Yeah. You can see some extra hydrogen atoms. But yeah, basically it.
It tastes different.
Yeah.
Not that it tastes different. Like it goes down different. Mm-hmm. That's very weird.
It's almost kind of like thicker.
Thicker, but lubricated? That's such a weird way to describe water. Well, it feels lubricated.
Yeah. Yeah, it goes out a little easier. But, so I mean, this water is pretty cool because you can actually drink less water and be more hydrated.
Which I am by the alkaline.
Yeah.
So this is like this has... if this is like common knowledge, I'm just not the common knowledge guy that knows this.
It's ionized.
Alright, so it's ionized with reverse osmosis as sodium bicarbonate. dipotassium phosphate, magnesium. It's a lighting. I don't think it's my eyes.
Yeah.
Sulfate.
Essentials are really good water.
Right.
Yeah, but that's H2. It's called, or the system's called H2. But yeah, so essentially, like, this kind of goes into the whole like fascial property thing too. So you think of the body as like entire unit, a system of pressurization, right? So basically, how well we pressurize in one given area or as a whole given area will determine the quality and the health of that living tissue, right? The amount of exchange that it can have with oxygen, with carbon monoxide, with producing energy for the mitochondria, right? So what tends to happen, like when an injury happens, that is a result of either like overuse, which is again mechanics, like how much force can be transmitted through it, or just even as something as we age, right? For example, the lady with the hip, who has to have stem cells like in her hips now because she's like very, very weak in that one given area, the left side,
right,
due to lots of faulty steps, wearing heels,
right,
sitting in an office chair for excessive time, whatever it may be. That area is not getting good pressurization, right? So the body's like a compartment system. Okay, so same thing goes for water, right? But we have high pressure gradients, low pressure gradients. You turn on a hose, it's a low pressure gradient through the hose, but then the high pressure gradient from that water system that's spewing through is filling up all the tubes, and you turn it off, and then it closes back up, right? Kind of like that one fancy one. Do you remember that was like, oh, are you tired of putting your hose back after you wash your car? Let's invent this thing that just like shrivels up. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, super, super nice because then it takes up less space.
Yeah, the only problem is that it ripped all the time.
Oh, really? I never bought it.
Until they came out with like the 2.0.
Right.
That was made out of like gold or something like that. But anyways, yeah, so like the body works like that, like pressurization systems. But the interesting thing about water is that the quality of water matters, right? So say if you have low information water, like water is the most abundant solvent that is in the universe that we know of right now, right? Until we like find out somewhere else and there's something better, like H3.
Solvent just being something that we dilute something with?
Exactly, yeah. Okay. So like any toxicities in the body, any chemical reactions that are producing excess oxidation, to carry out like a lot of these like heavy toxins, environmental chemicals, whatever it may be, like byproduct of our body having a poor stress response. Water is a solvent to those things and helping carrying out processes to kind of excrete those, right? So the higher quality water has more information in it, right? More hydrogen atoms. The body's 99% water. It will push out low quality information through that pressure gradient, right? So say if I'm able to pressurize like in my chest well and my stomach, and I can get my legs to move with that well, then that means I'm going to have a whole system of lymph moving through my body. Your lymph is like your garbage man coming up and down the street, taking out your trash, right? If you don't have good lymph pumping, I have it through my upper body, but can't get it through my legs. My legs have a lot of lymph nodes. Trash is going to build up there, and then that tissue is going to start dying out, being more oxidative, and then it's more prone to having pretty much cells dying out.
Right.
That's why like fasting and stuff that we do is super important, like autophagy and all that, like carrying those out. But then again, lymph has its job to do to carry that out, and that's like the pumping function of the body. So the good quality water pushes all that junk water out, and not enough people are realizing like, hey, what is good quality water consist of, it's gonna have your trace minerals back in it, right? So like a big thing I put a lot of clients on as of recently, because I didn't do this. I was doing it through like the Himalayan salt and such like that for a while, but like if you get a trace mineral supplement and you add that back to like your distilled or your reverse osmosis water, it's basically, it tastes like salt, right? You put like 10 drops in it, but I've had a lot of people tell me they were having lots of instances with like cramping, other issues. But water, if it's reverse osmosis all the way, it loses a lot of the structure. So this, for example, adds structure to it through the hydrogen, but there's no trace minerals in that water, for example.
So what if I combine the alkaline, like I definitely my training budget doesn't probably wouldn't be able to sustain this.
Yeah.
But maybe, because I only drink these.
Yeah.
Which is pretty expensive, by the way.
I
only drink these.
Yeah.
If I was to filter essential through the hydrogen contraption science lab you have over there, that would have the structure and the trace minerals. Yay, nay, maybe.
So this doesn't have trace minerals in it per se.
By trace minerals, I only meant the list of things I read off that I don't fully know what they do.
So so magnesium is gonna be one, calcium chloride. So it's missing probably a couple of trace minerals, but through that one you don't want to filter any other type of water other than reverse or distilled. You don't want to add trace minerals into it afterwards, for the reason being that it does have something that may be like affected by it. Like from what I've read and been told by like the company makers for that system.
Right. Okay. So you add trace minerals to your water.
To this afterwards, I just do it once in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
But sometimes like that cramping is caused by, I know when you start keto, like you start cramping because your body starts dumping like minerals into your system. So that's why you get like diarrhea. Like your body's not used to it. So is that kind of the cramping their issue? They had to like stay with the course, or why would you get cramping any other way? The pressurized system and like, oh hey, we're hurt over here. Like now they're getting better signaling. I mean that could maybe be something.
Yeah. That's actually what I was gonna say.
Oh wow,
exactly.
really?
Yeah. Because again, like the fascial system's like a sponge, right? So it's like a retenant for water, and it can like hold onto it or like distribute it elsewhere, along with blood, oxygen, all these good things that we need for these like cells to be communicative, to be functioning at a high level. So I mean, basically hydration through the cells, dispersal through the pumps, like evenly and such. But
this is really good water, by the way.
Yeah.
Like I mean, huh?
You want more?
I am going to. Bro, this is good water.
Hit the boost button and go. Brrr.
Hit the what now?
The boost, that blue button.
Okay. Does it matter where I put it?
Nah, you can do either one. Just press the blue button and then press it. It'll boost it more.
What does boost more mean?
Just get more bubbles in it.
How much is this? Is it expensive? It's like not that bad?
Yeah, that was pretty pricey. I think around like $8,000.
What?
I got it as part of a case study though.
Well, if you start growing a third arm here, you know.
At least you're hydrated. I was like, I have a lot of problems.
So I know like that the guy Danny Vega that I was telling you, man, you guys love each other.
Yeah.
But he does like a UV blanket, so he does like UV treatments daily. Talks about a whole lot of other things that does.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? Like you guys are like similar, doing different explorations.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's kind of what I do, but chemically.
Yeah.
Like, inject this, inject that.
Yeah.
This supplement, that supplement. I mean, I've done that my whole life, so I feel like that's like psychological almost. You know, like taking any and all supplements. But I'm like, oh, how does this affect you? Oh, it affects me this way. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like I know for like vascularity, you say like NO2, I think. Was it nitrogen?
Nitrous oxide.
Right. Yeah. You know, you get like longer endurance. Yeah. Actually, I remember back when supplements worked. I don't know if they do now due to the FDA.
Yeah.
Now they're just like marketing and garbage.
Yeah, true that.
But it's crazy. Crazy. Like you can get the same ways with like proper nutrition, sleep.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely.
Which is crazy, like right? Because we're like, how do I get stronger feet? Like, don't wear shoes.
Yeah.
Like, huh?
Yeah.
Right? No. What exercise, Marty? Like, right? Walk.
Yeah,
like be a human being with no shoes.
Expose yourself to more stimulus. Essentially, that's what it is at the end of the day, right? The more stimulus that you're exposed to, the better adaptable and resilient you are, right? So that's like the whole premise behind like being barefoot, you know.
My shoes are now thinner than yours, by the way.
I know.
Which is like.
I noticed that the other day when I was looking at.
I know. Every time you walk, I'm like, oh, how many millimeters is this? Like every day. Like, I mean, I only wore shoes. Got to stop in the store before I came here. You know, now I'm gonna switch my sandals to like what, Earth Runners, or
Yeah.
I'm like trying to find like how minimal can we get these things? Because like I walk
because
in my
inches matter. That's what you're saying.
huh?
Because inches matter. That's what you're
It's a
saying.
game of inches. It's a game. Everything's a game of inches.
Millimeters.
Millimeters matter. I just noticed that I love the 5 fingers. Like, other than the fact that like I get sweaty feet smell sometimes.
Yeah.
As I have my feet on your couch.
It's okay.
But no, I noticed it. Like I was watching that Move You Shirtless Dude guy, and he was talking about like he can move his foot like in like there's a muscle here, and it's like he can almost clamp his foot now.
Really?
I mean, I say almost.
Yeah.
It's a slight flexation.
Yeah.
But still, a slight flexation in your foot is like a lot of movement compared to like you see your foot flexation. Not that we're comparing. So I say your toes go under further than mine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it's just crazy. Like
yeah.
And I've noticed like just the tensor. I don't know. Are these tensors as well? Because tensors I know are the hands, but
yeah.
You know it's foot tensors. I never know what they are. I've noticed how stronger I am. I'm like,
yeah, gotta do curve track.
Oh yeah, and I notice when I step now, like I tend to like flare my feet.
Yeah.
When I'm not wearing any shoes, like I do this, like it's like I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like like shoes, it did not do that. Like, and I'm like, it's crazy. Or I can even step on a rock. Yeah. And we talk about the fascia. Yeah. Like, I can step on the rock and like the foot will like do things.
Groove around it.
Yeah, they're like, no, we're not. Yeah. Before, when I first started, it was like, it just hurt.
Yeah.
I would step on the rock.
That's hilarious. So good. That's my neighbor got a little, what do you call it? Basically like a concrete table and base, and it's pretty heavy, right?
Right.
Probably weighs like 90 pounds. So between the two of us, we're carrying it. I'm like barefoot. And then I realized like there's like a side of the yard has like a bunch of rocks on it. And then he's like, yeah, help me carry it. He's like, oh, you might want to throw shoes on. I was like, nah, I got this.
Right.
Yeah, I'm carrying like a 90-pound thing on these rocks. I was like, hey, this actually isn't so bad. But I could imagine like for the average person, like walking on that with 90 pounds of pressure, it would be like walking on like pins and needles, you know?
Well, I remember growing up in the country, like I would just walk, barefoot.
Yeah.
And like now I'm being nostalgic about like walking in mud.
Yeah.
And like it's crazy. It's like we were talking earlier about like adaptation.
Yeah.
Like the human beings are really just like adaptation machines.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if you really like boil it down,
mm-hmm.
like we just keep trying to adapt, right?
Yeah.
We almost crave like unique experiences.
Yeah.
Like they say, like a unique smell. Like you'll be able to recall, like all the events in the room, and it was this time, and like a crazy level of detail, right?
Yeah.
But we then started getting monotonous, right? Like our day.
Mm-hmm.
Like so now we have to be like, creative of like creating uniqueness.
Yeah.
When really it can be as simple as like take off your shoes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like
so taking a step back, like
right. It's like returning to savage.
Yeah.
Like with modern man's mind. I guess that would be the the duality.
Yeah.
But there's a great anime, by the way, called Dr. Stone.
Yeah.
That it's based on like humanity is like frozen.
Yeah.
For like 37,000 years. So 3,000. Maybe it was like 3,100 years. A very long time.
Yeah.
Buildings have eroded. Like metal has like eroded. However long that takes.
Yeah.
Which is a long time, I'm assuming.
Yeah. At least 36,000.
Right.
years.
So you're seeing like the steps of like, this guy who wakes up is like a scientist. Who can make anything, right? Like that's his superpower is he was good at science, can make anything.
Yeah.
But he has to start like resurrecting people, like because they're in stone statues until he like finds the solution, right? I mean, it's fake anime.
Yeah.
But it really brings your attention to how long it takes when you're by yourself just to shelter and gather food.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, because he's a scientist, can solve anything, right? Can do whatever.
Yeah.
But he's stuck picking mushrooms.
Yeah.
And like building shelter and like crap. Like I have to I gotta figure out how to get some friends.
Yeah.
Because we're not going anywhere if I'm doing all the work, like the manual labor.
Yeah.
So they get like, and then it starts to become cool about like society building.
Yeah.
How you start to get the next person he gets is like a hard worker. Who's, they're like friends, right?
Yeah.
But because he's like, I need someone to do the manual labor, like so I can spend time thinking.
Yeah.
And I know like sometimes we start to like, oh, you only do fitness, Marty.
Yeah.
But if you start to think about the cog of the machines of like humans and stuff, like, and how much your fitness affects everything.
Yeah.
I mean, your sleep quality. We'll consider your sleep quality.
Yeah.
Your this, your that. And you're always like studying, you're always like getting the newest information.
Yeah.
You're not afraid of like trying new ideas. Sometimes you probably find dead ends.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever hear about your dead ends.
Yeah.
Because most of the things that you work or you've like refined before I even get to it. Or someone else has, right? Like there's a community of that.
Yeah.
But then you return that to the bulk of society, through clientele.
Yeah.
And content. And like I think that's really underappreciated.
Yeah.
I remember like back in the day, like whenever I was like in high school or whatever, like if you were like a trainer, it was like, bro, everyone does that workout. Yeah. Because it was all like the Arnold workout, right? It was all the same workout.
Yeah.
Where now it's like, no, there's like all kinds of things.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Andy, I remember when Andy was my neighbor, he would like start doing math with like the weight.
Yeah.
Of like what percentages we were going to do for this many reps.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I thought you wanted to lift. Like, but you know what I mean? I would always laugh. And he was like, he'd always talk
Go
smack.
back to math class, nerd.
Right. He'd talk smack. But then, like, the level of, like, strength gains.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I'm supposed to be, like, getting this strong that fast.
Yeah.
Like, it was, like, just jump, jump, jump.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's a formula, right? Like, I'm too busy just lifting to even, like, do the research.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to, like, count this. We talk about bodybuilders or chemists.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend time, like, I think it's underappreciated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Someone talked about that the other day with jiu-jitsu. Where, and think about this, like, so your jiu-jitsu competitors, what do you do for a living? Oh, I compete in jiu-jitsu. Not really, like, contributing to mankind is my first off-the-cuff take, right?
Yeah. Being honest.
That's how I feel about sports, but I realized that I was incorrect, like football, basketball.
Yeah.
Should instead of drinking, or should I drink some water, man? This is like good.
Yeah.
I actually feel more awake.
Yeah.
Like I'm serious.
Really?
I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
And I'm drinking alkaline water. I'm like man, like
it is a
like
little
you
bit
one up to my water.
Yeah.
Like I only drink alkaline water. And you're like, well, because that actually the alkaline water rehydrates me faster.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Which I find insane.
Yeah.
I was cramping a lot, and I was drinking a lot of like Gatorade, the sugar-free Powerades.
Yeah.
Which just means like it's probably worse.
Yeah.
My new level is like that was probably worse. Don't mess with my hazelnut creamer, man. I don't care. I will not eat healthy food if I have to eat up hazelnut creamer one more time.
Really?
That is like they've got me hooked. It's my heroin.
It's my heroin. Tried it. Alternatives.
I've stopped it so many times that I just realized that I'm just taking breaks.
Yeah.
I'm detoxing to realize I really actually like the high of hazelnut creamer, man. Hazel's such a good flavor.
It is.
But think about this. So, like, I train with like a lot of law enforcement. The people doing real world activities where fitness and jiu-jitsu a part of like survival.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for me, like, that really changed my mentality of like, if you think about like the jiu-jitsu competitors are training at gyms all over the world.
Yeah.
They're validating that these techniques are, they're vetting. Hey, against a highly skilled opponent, these techniques work.
Yeah.
At their home gyms, and they train with average Joes or law enforcement. Dude who plays Fortnite for a living, like these random individuals. But what that does is it gives back like a level of, we talked about authority. Remember earlier we talked about authority? Like, by what authority do your crazy ideas come from?
Yeah.
Like, hey, well, against a high level competitor, this technique worked.
It's results at the end of the day.
Right. It's results that you didn't have to go through.
Yeah.
And where like I've trained with you long enough that like I just off the cuff trust almost anything you might say.
Yeah.
Like, right, you come up with like, hey, sleep upside down, in a bathtub. You know, like I don't know. I'd probably still try it though.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, but you know, through like just training like results.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's hard with new ideas.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what's the results?
Yeah.
You either have to have like a high level dude who's just dominating everybody in something.
Yeah.
Or you're like jacked beyond belief, and like 2 days ago you were a powder puff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's really hard to like prove that. And I think that's what you're hitting.
Yeah.
Is like these ideas are like no. If you just work hard and you sleep and you're consistent and you have movement, you'll be healthy.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like no, bro. What's the secret?
Yeah. It's like, where's my blue pill? Where's my blue pill?
I'm about the blue pill. You know, like, and I think like we have to be aware of that. Like, so that's something I'm like you know like pondering upon. But it was, you know, people want to know like what authority but everyone's not doing it.
Yeah.
Well, everyone is doing back surgeries.
Yeah.
Everyone is doing like Xanax and like I'm not about Xanax, but you know like they're doing like
statin.
they're doing I don't even know what statin is. Is that's for heart problems? Okay. They're doing a lot of like not healthy stuff. How about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of surgeries.
Yeah.
Instead of like, hey, take your shoes off. Like, don't wear shoes anymore.
Yeah.
Don't mess with that coffee, bro. Like, I don't care. Drink the coffee. Just keep drinking the coffee.
Don't touch my coffee.
Dude, I will kill you.
Have you?
I don't even drink it for the caffeine. It does not wake me up.
You like the taste?
It is literally. It's probably a habit. It's probably, to be honest, it's probably like an ingrained habit that I've dug in so deep with.
It's hard to
get
out of.
I can tell you what coffee I drink in Iraq. You know, like, it's like it's like been with me for so long.
Yeah.
I'm sure this is maybe, I don't know, but this might be like how drug addictions or something like we've got memories. You know? Like me and the spirit of coffee. Yeah. We've done things. Yeah. You know, we've been places. Yeah. Like, you know what we've seen.
Yeah. And it's like we were saying earlier about like, you know, like how these addictions form is like, once we try the one thing, like we're not gonna. Once you try crack, you're not gonna go back to weed, right? Right. I mean, like, do you know what it's like being manic? Yeah. Like I mean, no, that was a serious question. Do I actually? Right. I have had. I've had high moments of angst when I'm drinking too much coffee. I felt that, but not. That's anxiety. That causes too much anxiety. Yeah. I'm talking about like Marty's in the zone. Yeah. Output amazing. Yeah. Every idea is on the whiteboard. You know what I mean? Like look at your whiteboard. Yeah. Talk about mania. Look at Jeremy's writing there. That was like while you took a 2-minute phone call. Like, well, here's some things we might get to. Like save some of the rest in the notebook. But you know, that's the problem. Is like when you can perform at such a high level. Yeah. And then you go back to like that was fine for a sprint. Yeah. But we got like a long endurance run ahead of us called life. Yeah. I think that's where like, you know, that starts to become a problem with coffee. Yeah. We want to keep pushing. We're burnt. Yeah. And now you don't want to take a millimeter step backwards. Yeah, absolutely. Because I drink less coffee actually it's crazy, eating the Oregon stew. Yeah. I drink one, some days 2 cups. Yeah. Where before I drink 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow. And it's just because my energy feels very balanced. Yeah. I personally notice that, you know, 4 or 5 rounds, I'm good. And then before, like, my energy, like, would taper and start to go down. Yeah. Now it's like 4 or 5 rounds, I'm amazing, nothing. Yeah. Like, and then I start having palpitations. Someone said that it's a blood sugar droppage, like a sudden blood sugar droppage. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, I need to do some research and maybe do some, like, blood work while I'm training. Like, like got my little meter and peer my finger. Because I'm like, oh, maybe maybe that's what it is. Maybe blood glucose just drops. Yeah, yeah. So I've introduced some carbs, you know, based on like other people's getting some good results. Yeah. So I'll have like a sweet potato or like a bar. And the bar is not the best. I just had a bunch from this Amazon thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, once again, I had buy-in. Yeah. Right? I had them. We gotta get rid of these before I can just like only buy sweet potatoes. Yeah. Such a terrible, like, you know, like that dichotomy. But like I'm noticing, like, it feels like coffee. That's just why I'm drinking less. I'm like,
eat like some sushi or something about an hour before, 2 hours before,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm also like, yo, what's up? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I'm like really good training sessions.
Yeah.
And I'm not hungry afterwards. That's the problem. Is finding. So today I tried a lunch instead of dinner.
Yeah.
But then I had dinner with you.
Yeah.
But I missed training, so I guess that's where that problem stopped.
Yeah.
But because I eat too late, and someone said also eating too late is going to mess up like your glucose levels.
Mm-hmm.
Because my blood glucose is usually high for someone who doesn't eat a lot of sugars.
Yeah.
Even my A1A has slowly been going up.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, oh, you know, like for someone who doesn't eat sugar and is like like low insulin sensitivity.
Yeah.
That's to me like a concern.
Yeah.
Like any higher numbers and you're gonna start entering pre-diabetic land.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you do the honey before bed hack ever?
Sometimes I do the peanut butter like at 2 a.m. when I wake up hack.
Been there. I mean, I can give you a teaspoon of honey if you want, but yeah.
It'll wire me too much.
Oh, well.
Because I don't eat a lot of sugar.
Yeah.
So it'll literally, and now I throw it on sleep.
Gotcha.
Like I want already.
Yeah.
Hydrogenated water.
Yeah.
Really? You see, like it really did like
change the level a little bit.
Right, maybe they'll be hydrated.
Dude, well, honestly, no, I believe it 100%. Like, quality of this is pretty insane. Like, given like all the other variables were like very similar, like my training, eating, diet, nothing changed other than introducing that water. I think it was like the first like 3 weeks I lived here. I noticed like I didn't need to take naps anymore. Like in my midday, like when I was like really like hectic after working like 6 hours in the morning, usually do like a 3-4 hour break midday, eat, do my thing, take a nap. Like I was like, I don't need to anymore. I could just like trek through it, like spend a little bit of time outside. And the interesting thing is too, when I try to sip out coffee on some days, like the habit cycle kind of goes like, you know, when you're trying to reverse a bad habit, like you need to put something else in place of it. You know what I mean? So like, for example, like my friend like trying to quit nicotine, like vaping, whatever. It's like this was in Chattanooga. He's an officer in Chattanooga, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck's all over your car? He's got all these little candy, like the caramel Lido wrappers, like little things. I was like, he's like, 5 days in, like no nicotine. And I was like, holy shit! Like, all right, it makes sense. Like, I understand the habit loop. Like, you gotta fill something else in.
One poison in another.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was like, all right.
That's a thing to do for drug addicts is a less worse or a lesser poison.
Yeah, exactly. So mine for coffee. I mean, even though coffee's not like the devil, but I was just like trying to introduce something new to it. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you're just getting outside, being in the sunlight, and like realizing like, hey, I get like an extra burst of energy, especially if I'm inside for like 5 or 6 hours in the morning, like getting that alternative energy source and like undoing all that like blue light, that like white LED, like that's like poison.
I need to switch off that. I can't sleep if there's any light in the room. Period.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Yeah.
I know some people can just pass out. Like, unfortunately, the kids. I need to find. We'll talk about it later. I need to find them a good nightlight.
Yeah.
Because you know, like kids, like they want light.
Yeah.
But it's all LEDs.
Yeah.
It's too bright for me. I'm like, I can't, like I don't even want to go in there at nighttime.
Yeah. Have you tried the pink Himalayan salt?
Nightlight?
Yeah. Do you want to check mine out real quick? Come here.
I mean, I've seen them. I don't know what I don't know what they do.
Bring the camera with you if you want.
I will.
That's nice, sweet. So, actually,
there's that like 113.
Yeah.
And this is. There we go. We have like all these gimbals and stuff that we're not using.
It's all good. We'll do it next time.
No dead corpses or anything.
Try not to. There's no light in here.
There's no light in here.
I'll just hit the night light. Ready? So.
So that might work for them.
So, pink Himalayan salt ionizes the air. So again, like the air quality like ends up being a lot more like refreshing just to breathe. The interesting thing is this one I got on Amazon. Try to take it out. It's got this little like candle holder here up top, And then I gotta give you one of these. If you end up getting one, let me know. It's a CBD incense. So it's a little candle with the cannabinoids inside of it. But this one's lasted me, I kid you not, like probably like 2 months. The bulb lights it up a little bit, heats it up, and it smells amazing. Like the CBD. Like,
no, your room actually. So I use the air purifiers.
Yeah.
And they make a huge difference. Like with just like lint and like garbage. Which is crazy. You wouldn't think that there's like lint and garbage like in your air until you have some clean air, and you're like, and I have a thing that purifies our air.
That's next on my list. I'm gonna get one of the.
So it's it's a UV light inside the AC duct.
Oh, okay.
So it nukes like microbacteria and stuff. Like as the air intake is going and flushing it through.
Gotcha.
We don't smell it. Like let's say that we go to a trip and we come back.
Yeah.
A few days being away.
Yeah.
Like come in, the air smells like sanitized. That's the only way I can describe the smell of the air.
Yeah.
It's sanitized.
Yeah.
But then like very quickly like this is where like your body's an adaptation machine. It's always there, even though it's unique. It's unique everywhere else.
Yeah.
But because it's always present, it automatically like rules it out.
Yeah.
Like if I was to go home right now, I couldn't tell my brain to turn it on. I mean, maybe with training.
Yeah.
That's a good test.
Yeah.
Try to turn on the olfactory intentionally.
Yeah.
Instead of passively.
Yeah.
There we go. That's what our book's going to be about.
Try it, yeah.
The olfactory...
nose hairs.
Right.
Yeah.
But, no, it makes such a huge difference.
Yeah.
And I get sick whenever the air pressure changes. I don't know what that's about yet. The barometric pressure changing?
Yeah.
So I got to figure that one out.
Gotcha.
This is the first time I take antibiotics again. And I tried doing it, I've been doing naturally. So just like letting my body fight it. Because you're roughly sick the same amount of time.
Yeah. Whenever you're saying whenever the pressure changes?
No, I mean like, so let's say that you you get sick. I'm gonna get some more water.
Go for it.
I'm
doing a bottle of this. Oh my gosh.
Hey, I can actually fill up my water bottle. You don't mind?
No, go for it.
Dude, I'm gonna do that. That's a very good idea.
Do this.
But let's say that you get sick, right?
Yeah.
And it's with medication. It's gonna take you 10 days.
Yeah.
I don't think my water bottle fit in there. Oh no, I can get it.
For sure.
Now let's say that you're going to not take any medication.
Yeah.
You might actually feel worse those 10 days.
Yeah.
But about 10 days, you're going to be better too.
Yeah.
The only difference is your creature comfort for 10 days and your body's ability to be resilient the next time.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the variables.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to like grow the ladder, right? Like, I want to be more resilient. But this time, like, it started getting congestion in my lungs. I'm like, well, holy crap, come on, man. I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm like, not taking stuff.
Yeah.
It's crazy, you know, like, but I do go less often. I do the chiropractor maintenance.
Yeah.
Some of that's probably me not moving, you know, things being incorrect. I don't think it goes often.
Yeah.
But for 2 years, I went like 3 days a week.
Yeah.
To say how, like, jacked up or you know, systems were not firing.
Yeah.
Let me finish this one real quick.
Absolutely.
You want to mix them?
No, definitely not. We're on the real quick. Yeah, fill it up, dude. Fill it up. Shit, it's almost full.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll pack up, man.
No, you're good, bro. I didn't realize it.